So ladies, if you had a good man at home, would you even want to entertain your ex? So this story time breaks my heart because this girl has a good man at home. I'm talking about he's a good man, Savannah. But she can't get over her ex. So she comes up with this bright idea and ruins everything. Let's get into it. So she said, my boyfriend and I have been together for 2 years, but I wasn't over my ex no matter how hard I tried. He couldn't even compare to my new man, and I knew that. So my boyfriend wanted to get married and start a family and buy our first house together. And I was still on the fence because it was everything that I wanted. It just was what I wanted with my ex. So I had this bright idea that I would ask my boyfriend if he was over his ex, which I did. And he said he was absolutely over her. They broke up on good terms. And then every time they see each other, they would even hug and chat a bit, but very innocent. He asked me, I told him that my ex cheated on me all the time, and I left him because he cheated again. He didn't fight for us, and he let me leave.
At this point, she's talking about he didn't fight for us and let me leave. Red flag.
And a few days later, he was with somebody else. So back to my bright idea. I sat him down and told him if we truly wanted to be happy and get married and start a family, we need to be sure we're over our ex. He was hurt and didn't like the idea, but I told him it was what I needed, so he agreed. It was to be done one night, and that was it. Then we would move on. So I text my ex on social media. Well, he jumped to the idea. He was blowing my phone up for the rest of the night, actually trying to link up. My boyfriend reached out to his ex, and she was surprisingly agreed. She thought it was weird, but she's like, okay, since she was single. I know, it's like we were in a movie, how it all aligned, but it did. He and his ex met up and got it done. Then my ex and I met up and got into it, actually, because he was so high he couldn't even function. Typical himself. So I said, forget it, and I left. But we ended up meeting up a couple days later, and we got it done. Well, I had decided my boyfriend was definitely where I wanted to be because my ex was just terrible. He had pissed me off several times, and right after we got done, that night, he left per usual. We decided we would get premarital counseling to help me work through my feelings for my ex, which we had, and then we got engaged. I felt like the luckiest woman alive while still having those feelings for my ex, but I was getting counseling for that, and my boyfriend was very supportive. Well, 2 months later goes by, and my boyfriend, now fiance, gets a phone call from his ex saying, we need to talk. I'm pregnant.
And I love that for him. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And even at that, she still wasn't over her ex, even after all he had done the second time around.
I'm always like, I just want to meet a guy organically. Like, I don't want to do the dating apps. I just want to meet him in the wild. I want him to come up to me at Whole Foods and be like, hey, do you want to go get a drink? But realistically, if a guy came up to me at a Whole Foods and asked me if I wanted to grab a drink, I would be like, get the fuck away from me, you fucking freak weirdo. Like, I'm just trying to food shop. Can women have any peace these days, you know?
We know. Modern women are liars.
So not to sound arrogant, but I like to think that I'm a pretty attractive woman, but I never get approached by men. And I mean never. They will stare a hole through my head, but they never speak to me, and I have no idea why.
They don't talk to us, especially at the gym. They're never, I mean, maybe they do. It depends what gym you go to, but a lot of the gyms know, like, a man's not gonna, cannot get this straight. A man's not gonna talk to us. But that's totally fine, because then you can talk to them. You have to think of something to say. You can do it. The thing is, too, like, men don't really, like, reject girls like men, or, like, girls that reject men. Like, a man's not gonna make you feel dumb. They have, like, they're nicer than girls. But do it once, it becomes easy. Maybe do it to, like, a man you don't find that attractive, and then just start talking to all of them.
50-50 with men, because broke men are not superior to rich men in any facet. Broke men are not less likely to cheat. They're not more loving. They're not more attentive. They're not more...
Yeah, we got it. Anyways, let's get into my point. So, number one, what I hate about when girls make these videos is they can just admit that they don't want to pay for things. Like, we can just admit that, because there's genuinely no logic that entitles, because somebody's gender, that they should be more responsible financially. Okay, so let's just get into that one. Anyways, we can use the exact same logic logic that she uses for why a man shouldn't go and pay for everything, because you can sit there, pay for everything. She's not going to be more empathetic. She's not going to not cheat on you. She's not going to be more loving, and all the other random things that she named. How many men do you hear get left even after doing all of those things and you can't get it back? Like, I think it's so funny that the worst thing that could possibly happen for this girl is going 50-50, meaning she has to pay for her stuff, like the contribution she, has to pay for the things that she's using. Like, worst case scenario, she looks back at like the guy cheats and she's like, oh my God, I had to pay for my apartment that I lived in. That's so unfair. Oh my God, I caught him and he was so mean to me. But then I had to pay for my car payment that I used every day. Oh my God, what a bad boyfriend. You don't want to pay because you're materialistic, and it's very obvious. Your whole entire account is just talking about money and men. It's literally all about men. Men, there's just so many posts that have to do with money and men, and it's like the only thing that makes this girl feel special. I just get so exhausted with these videos because of the fact that it's just so ridiculous that they can't just admit that I personally don't want to pay for things and I want to find a guy who doesn't make me have to go and work. And they try to come up with these random ways and be like, well, it's actually because of this. And it's like, no, none of them make sense. A true feminist, a true supporter of equality, thinks the whole thing of gender should be removed. Like, anything that you think you deserve or you're entitled to because of gender shouldn't be there, because that's what real feminism is. I don't think I deserve anything more than you do because I'm a man, and I don't think you deserve anything more than me because you're a woman. And I think it's very interesting because I think so many girls clearly get offended by this because they've been used to that privilege of being treated or put on a little bit of a pedestal because, women were dealing with a lot of inequality for a long time. So more of the story is you could have shortened your video and just said, I don't want to pay for things because I'm lazy. But that's just my opinion. But hey, what do you think?
Just blabbing about, just talking about, oh, I want to be 50-50. No, you don't. Oh, I want to be an equal partner. No, you want to be a subordinate. And as a man with money, as a high value man, as you would call me, I'm going to treat you like a subordinate.
Okay, if I was a guy that didn't party, didn't drink, didn't go out that much, was really healthy, and I was looking for a girl that is of similar interests, this is where I would be. You gotta go to the farmers markets. This is where all the cute girlies are at. They are buying their produce, they're buying their little matchas and coffees from the coffee trucks, they're exploring all the vendors, they're buying themselves flowers, and they're looking really cute and healthy. Maybe they just hit their Pilates class and now they're out to go buy their fresh produce for the week. This is where all the girls are at, you guys. So you're welcome.
A dude in the comments said, don't do it. The 304s have called on and they're flooding it.
So last week I matched with my crush from college. And then on Saturday night, he invites me over to his apartment. So when I get there, him and his roommates are smoking and they ask if I want to smoke. So naturally I'm like, of course I want to smoke. Anyways, a few hours pass and we're yapping and whatever. And then all of a sudden it's 1:30 in the morning. And my college crush goes, are you trying to do something? Because it's kind of late. And keep in mind, I'm at the point of the gardening session where I'm literally analyzing every single human interaction I've ever had and trying to understand how other people perceive me. So I respond to him and I go, oh, I'll just go home, because I thought he was kicking me out. And I put on my shoes and I leave and I give him a hug, and he, I think, wanted to kiss me, but I don't really know. And anyways, I go home thinking that he was kicking me out. And the next day I tell my friends this story and they're like, did you take too much Tylenol as a child? Because why the fuck did you think he was kicking you out? Babe, that was an invitation. And I was like, wait, really? Anyways, I just want to know what you guys think. Do you think he was asking me to stay or asking me to leave? And if he was asking me to stay and I didn't, do you think that I fumbled my chances?
Seems like women aren't good at reading the room either.
Dating as a fat woman is really hard, and I think one of the hardest things for me has been trying not to catfish someone. If I give just a portrait shot like this, they don't really get a good sense of what my body looks like. And so in all of my dating profiles, I try to include at least one, generally two, full size, full body shots so that they know what they're getting themselves into. And one time, I remember this one date, this guy and I had been talking for 3 months, which is way too long to be in the talking stage. He was a pilot. He flew internationally, and he would be stationed at different Air Force bases and whatnot for like weeks at a time, and then he would come back. And so I gave him a little bit of grace for that. And I thought, okay, by the time we were finally able to meet up though, I was super excited. We had like mad chemistry via text. And I got all glammed up. I wore this super cute outfit, showed up at this bar, Crazy Cats, and he walked in, and the look on his face was just like, ugh. And then he just put on a fake smile. He didn't make eye contact with me the whole time. And I've never had that experience where I felt so unwanted and so ugly all at once. The disappointment in his body language was so clear to me that he was just not into me. I went on another date with this other guy. We were like 3 hours apart, so we each drove like an hour and a half to meet in the middle, which I thought that worked out well. And I got my drinks. I was there before him, and so I got my drink, paid for my drink, and we chatted for about a half an hour. It was a little bit of awkward conversation. I felt like I was carrying most of the conversation. And this guy stops, all of a sudden, like, interrupts me mid-sentence and says, well, Sarah, it was really nice to meet you. I'm gonna go. And just got up and left. And I was like, okay. And was really, really taken aback by that. So both of those experiences really showed me that I am not somebody that men want to date, which is too bad because I think I'm fun. I think I'm funny. I'm smart. I clean up really nice. I look terrible right now, but I clean up nicely. And I feel like I have a lot of love to give to somebody, but I can't seem to get past that first date. God damn it.
That man said, dang, I done landed on a grenade. It's time to take one for the team. That's cold-blooded, brother.
Okay, but I have a question. If we broke up today, what would you do? Can you just answer the question? If we broke up today, what would you do?
I'm going back to my ex.
Nah, that ain't what you just said.
What
the hell you mean? If we broke up today, what would you do?
I just told you, I'm gonna go back to my ex.
What the f*** mean you want back to your ex? Babe, don't let me knock this your hand. What do you mean you going back to your ex?
I love her. I still love her.
Since the when?
Since I ever met her. I know.
Stop playing.
I ain't never stopped loving her. What the f*** you want me to do?
Why you don't just go back now? That's a question.
I can't.
Why?
She got a know. Do you not know how she changed me? She helped change my life.
No, I don't. Because your life wasn't shit when I met you. So what you mean she helped you change your life? What the f*** was it before that?
And that's why I'm going back to my ex.
Why?
Because it's like that.
Why do you want to go back to your ex?
She got good and she got some fight. Never mind. You wouldn't understand.
I know you fine. Now I'm going to ask you again. If we broke up, what would you do? And you
back to my ex. She fine as she thick. She brown skin, dark skin. She fine as who the wouldn't go back to my ex? My ex finds me, you know it. They're my baby.
So why you just don't go now? That makes no sense. Like, I'm not understanding.
You know why it don't make no damn sense?
It makes no damn sense.
Because you're not using your brain.
How? How I'm not using my brain? It's my question.
If we break up,
yes,
who is my ex?
It's my question.
If we break up, no, you just had all that air in your chest. If we break up, who the f my ex?
Me.
So who the f think I'm going back to?
The Lord. Don't try to twist my question around.
I ain't twisting. I answered the question. You just so toxic. You thought I was talking about another ex.
I'm toxic because I asked the question.
Bro, now it's my fault.
Yes, because you
got time for this shit. Get out my
get on my nerves. Why you didn't just say that in the first place?
Oh, thanks, babe. It's probably what you need to say at this point.
I don't think women care about money, height, and appearance as much as guys think they do. I think there are lots of guys who are ugly, who are short, who are broke, that women are very much dating and into because they've maxed out their other attributes. But when you think that way, when you think women only care about those things, you're going into a conversation already being resentful about things that like you don't even know if she cares about. Almost every woman I know at some point has gone on a date with a guy who's rich, tall, and attractive, who didn't ask a single question about her the whole time, or was just overall a horrible person to be around, and so they didn't find them attractive. They didn't get a second date because those things don't carry you into like boyfriend material if you're not already there. Put effort into your appearance. Buy a cologne. Care about your hygiene a lot. Like really take care of yourself and have interests. Ask questions on dates. Get to know women as they are. And I really think you'd have a lot more dating success. And I think a lot of guys think that these things are holding them back, but it's like you're just projecting all of your insecurities onto people. Like most women do not care that much about those things. Those things aren't extremely important. Do they help? Yes. But if you're already a horrible person, those things are going to detract from you as a person. You know what I'm saying? From your overall attractiveness potential.
Well, I think, what you're saying, it makes sense. But I think there are a lot of men out here that have gone through this stuff, this foolishness with modern women, where they do all of the things that you're talking about. But then when the woman doesn't like what they did, or the woman doesn't like the fact that he said, oh, I think, we're going in a different direction. Or when the woman wants to go in a different direction, she'll say something like, oh, he was so sweet. He was this, he was that, all of the stuff that you're talking about. But then they'll come up and basically say he was not for me. And when you drill down and say, well, why wasn't he for you? Well, because he was too short. How tall are you? I'm 5'3". How tall was he? 5'9". Oh. But he looked good though. Haircut, shoes and clothing just the way it should be, hygiene just the way it should be. But, I'm looking for a man that's 6 foot. What?
I had a little heated argument with this man yesterday. And, we didn't really go to sleep on good terms. So I woke up in a better mood and I was like, listen, I'm grateful for you. On some sweet. This said. He responded. Mind you, he slept on this. He woke up and was like, man, your baby daddy.
I've had guys come to me, successful people come to me and say, yeah, I told her I want a prenup. And she was like, well, if we have a prenup, I'm leaving. That's it. I'm like, okay, then let her leave, man. Because if that's all, if you're saying, I love you more than anyone in the world and I'll love you forever. Great. We sign this contract? Absolutely not. But then that's it. I don't even want to see you again. Wow. That changed fast. Because a minute ago, you loved me more than anything in the world. And you would never let me go under any circumstances and you never hurt me. And now I just told you that there's a financial concern I have about letting the legislature make decisions about our future. And you've now decided you don't even like me anymore and we're out? That's a hell of a jump.
Yeah, good data there.
Yeah, real. But how do you reconcile that? If they say, wow, why do you want that? Do you not have faith in our relationship? Now let's have a conversation. No, of course I have faith in our relationship. Why would I want to marry you otherwise? And what is it you're afraid of? Are you afraid that the contract will be lopsided? Because here's the thing, I want it to not be.
Excuse me, how you doing?
Good.
What's your name?
Layla.
My name Don. I'm a football player. I got this little model project coming up. I got my own business going. We're making over 6 figures. And I love to be one of my models. I thought you were very beautiful.
Yeah, nah, I'm cool. That's corny.
What you mean? I got a 6-figure business. I got something going.
Nah, I don't really care.
I hit the gym. I'm
nah,
in shape.
I'm cool. I'm cool.
I stay close to God.
I'm good. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this corny ass just came up to me talking about he got something going for his life. Hold up, I see fine.
What's your name?
Layla.
You look good. What you doing out here?
Nothing, just walking.
What you be getting into?
Nothing really. I be coolin' for real.
I don't even do too much talking. I just smoke, play 2K, bro. I can get your gram.
Yeah.
What the f? That corny ass lady, man. Get your gram, but not me. I got something going. I got a model brand coming up. Get your goof ass on. This nigga said I smoke, play 2K, and that's what that gets you good. That's all you need.
I've been proposed to 4 different times by 4 different guys. And I'm going to tell you, I hear girls say all the time, like, oh, my ex just settled down like into a 2-month relationship that he was in, or he just got married because he was finally ready. And guys will just marry whoever's in front of them. I promise you that's not true. I'm just going to give it to you straight. Now, if you don't give a shit what women think, that is fantastic for you. Love that. And you can take it with a grain of salt if you are in a relationship with a man. Again, this is part 1, but the first one is he thinks he can find someone better looking. If any of his exes are like super attractive, he's now going to say that is his standard. Oh, not all guys are like that. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. He is scared that you don't like him or admire him or respect him. I think this is the biggest one. Like, he is insecure for a reason. Either you think that you are going to he thinks you're going to get mad at him for things and he's going to mess up a lot in the relationship, and you don't admire him or respect him, or there's other people that you respect, admire more. It could even be your own dad. That could be preventing you from getting a ring. Not all guys are like that. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I'm telling you. And then the third one is that his mom didn't like you. And you might think that she does, but she doesn't. And in most cases, this will prevent it as well. Like, the mom has to really, really like you and be like fully on board. If he doesn't have a mom, then you know, it could be like sibling or dad, but it's usually mom, sibling, then dad. I don't know why. It's just the way it is. Not all guys. That's not what studies say. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. That is what every study says. Let me know if you want a part 2.
Woman in the comments said that women are thoughtful when picking a partner. They are? Is that how they continue running into Chad and Tyrone and getting their cheeks clapped? What are we talking about here?
I was in the Target parking lot today and a young gentleman approached me. And when I say young, I mean unsure if he's graduated from high school yet. And he asked me if I lived in the area because he needed directions somewhere and he could really use some help. And because I am a good citizen here to help the youth of America, I said, of course, where are you headed? He pulls up his phone and he's scrolling. He's like, I'm trying to get to, hold on, let me find it. I'm looking for directions to your phone number. Valiant effort, however, again, far too young for me personally. And so I lied. I said, oh, that's so sweet, but I'm actually seeing someone, which is not fully a lie. I just didn't finish the statement, which is I'm actually seeing someone else for me personally in my future that isn't you. He was a good sport with the rejection. And he said, but how was that? You know, like, do you think that worked? And I said, some very lucky girl would be happy to give you directions to her phone number. Just maybe try it out in a more neutral zone. I don't think approaching single women walking by themselves to their car in the parking lot is the best. But again, valiant effort, little guy.
This is what he was supposed to do, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do. Given the environment and the situation, great execution. It's just that women like this think they're so far above men that they call them things like little guy when the man could be taller than them. It's just that they see them as a baby when the man is younger. Actually, what's going to happen is in reverse, the man that she wants does not want her. He's going to see her as somebody that's not a baby, but that's not a viable option. So, you know, at some point in time, maybe dial back the condescension.
I think these men don't approach us because, like, there's nothing for them to, like, approach us on. Like, there's nothing for them to comment on. We need to make it a little bit more, like, easier. Like, wear something, or... Okay, I took my dog... saying this because I took my dog to the gas station. I get out of the car. Immediately, the man next to me screams, like, I like your dog. Scared. He scared her and he ran inside because she was shaking, and then he was like, your dog seems really scared. I'm like, yeah, because you just screamed at us. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, if we just made it a little bit more easier, like, you know, the girls who have like the arm tattoos, like the sleeves, my friend, type 1 diabetic, had a Dexcom monitor. That's how she met her boyfriend, because the guy asked her, like, what is that? So maybe, I don't know, wear like a sports hat. Because the man's not gonna, what is the man gonna do? Comment on her hair? Like, oh, I like your, like, no, that come across That's too much for a first thing.
Okay, tell me if I'm wrong for getting my feelings hurt. My husband left this morning at like 7:45 to go to a football tailgate. I have been home all day with the baby, doing everything that you have to do. It's about 5:45. I just got a call from one of his friends. I can tell that they've been drinking. He is going to stay over there for another couple hours. Am I wrong for being upset? I've been home alone for the whole day. I'm home alone all week by myself, taking care of the baby. He's not in daycare. I get no breaks. The weekends are kind of like my one time to like get my collective crap together. And I wasn't really able to do that with the baby. Am I wrong for being upset or not? Keep in mind, going to football games used to be our thing. We used to go together all the time, go to football games, baseball games, hockey games, you name it. So I was already a little bit sensitive about being left behind.
Depending on what day it is, take the next day, take Sunday, and he have to take the baby. If that's not the case, and it is Sunday, and he's going back to work on Monday, your next off day player, you about to take this child.
We pull up to the club. There's like 1,000 people outside of the club. I will say my flirty friend like has us together. Like he walks straight up to the door. I see him negotiating the table and we're in the club. He pays God knows how much for this damn table. Knew it was going to take at least like 10, 15, 20 minutes even to get the bottles to the table and like get the table all set up. And I'm like, I need to have one more drink. Like I'm not pulling up to my crush's house like this sober. So I go and get like one big shot from the bartender and he basically pours me a massive cup of like tequila, I think. And I take the whole thing and he's watching me take it and he's like, whoa. He goes, another one in the house. Pours me another huge cup of tequila and I like threw that shit back. I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. Luckily for me, the guy friend of mine, the flirty friend, had run into a girl pretty much immediately as soon as we walked in. So he was kind of occupied and I just had walked in, taken the 2 cups of tequila and then scurried the fuck out as they're like paying for the table. I got in the car, my crush sent me, I'm on the way to his place. I'm like, And the flirty friend texted me, he's like, where did you go? Like, we're at the table, like it's getting set up now, like where'd you disappear to? And I had to think of something, so I'm like, I saw you talking to a girl as soon as we walked in, which is true. He starts calling me, he's like blowing up my phone being like, that was the cousin of my friend. I'm like, bro, the cousin of your friend, it's not your cousin. The cousin of your friend, you could still be with that person. You could marry the cousin of your friend. It's always the damn cousin. It's always my cousin this, my cousin that. So I doubled down. I was like, well, like that means nothing. You just respected me. Like I was like gaslighting him like crazy amounts while I'm in the car to my man's house. And I go pull up to his house, like my crush's house, and I'm like la-di-da-di-da. And as we're like in bed, this guy calls me after I said the thing about his cut, like 50 times. He's calling me time after time after time. And like obviously his name, a man's name is showing up on my phone. And my toxic ass let it sit like face up next to my crush. Kind of my crush like ends up picking it up being like, who is this guy that's calling you so much at like 3 a.m? And I was like, oh my God, like he's obsessed with me. Like it's so bad.
Mind you, a few clips ago, a woman in the comments said, we pick our partners so thoughtfully. This seems like she's trying to get into a drunken stupor and then go over there and get cracked. Does that seem very thoughtful to you?
I'm literally marrying the most reasonable man I've ever met. So last night I was like, hey, division of labor in the house is no good. Like I'm doing everything. And he's like, babe, pause. You work remote. You're at home all day doing these chores. Leave the house. Go to a coffee shop. Get yourself a little treat. Don't do any chores until I come home. That's not fair. The most grounding force in the world is a reasonable man.
And there are a bunch of unintelligent men in my comment section of my last video talking about, oh, if y'all want to walk around naked looking like hoes, just say that. Oh, if you're a lesbian, just say that. Proving my point. The fact that y'all cannot see the human form separated from smecks and smexual desires and smexuality it's alarming to me. Like, animals don't wear clothes. Bugs don't wear clothes. Trees don't wear clothes. Humans are the only living things on earth that feel the need to cover their physical form. Why do you think that is? Because men are weird. That's why. And when it really comes down to it, I think that a lot of men feel like it is our duty to hide our bodies so that they don't have to do the work of having self-control and fighting their urges. And I also think that their urges control them so much so that they are bothered by it. They're bothered by the power that women have over them by being desirable physically. And they feel like it's tempestuous and it's your fault and it's this horrible thing that you do by existing and being beautiful. So cover yourself unless you want me to not have self-control. It's like an animal justifying being a predator. Like, y'all are weird. Like, they always think they're saying something intelligent. You're only proving my point more so of why nobody enjoys being around y'all and why people will pick the bear.
Honestly, yapping and making no sense. Just like a modern woman.
Everybody be talking about how healers need protectors, but they don't tell you what the protector is supposed to look like. Boring. A very boring man. Yep, that man that just want to come home and play the game. That man that just go to work and come back home. That man that don't want much. Now, let's not get boring and lazy mixed up. This man is still going to be romantic. He's still going to court you. He's still going to love on you. Still going to take you one day. Still going to get you your flowers. But he don't care to be out and about. He don't care to be all in the streets and in everybody's face. He don't care to be at the clubs or out with his homeboys. That's a big one. That's a big one. This man is probably a homebody who likes to just be at home, play the game or watch the games. But his family is literally the center of his world. That's all he want to do is take care of his family and be with his family. A boring man grounds you. A boring man is going to keep you calm. Boring means stable. Boring means secure. Boring is comfortable and your nervous system is regulated. Boring means safe. So to be with a protector is to be with a boring, safe man.
I think that men who are overtly and cannot have a monogamous relationship and cannot settle down with one woman, I think they're GAY. I was cheated on repeatedly throughout my pregnancy, throughout postpartum, with, I kid you not. I'm a girl's girl. I'm a girl's girl. I promise that I'm a girl's girl. But the context matters. I'm no 10. I realize that. But I do know what league I am. I'm very, very aware of what league that I am in. And the women that this man was cheating on me with were barflies, were druggies, were not my caliber. That's for dang sure. And over and over again, repeatedly. It didn't matter what I did, didn't matter how much I gave him, didn't matter how much I doted on him and showered him with compliments and love and affection. I'm talking 5 weeks postpartum, and I catch him and this girl, and she comes up to me and goes, "Can I bum a smoke?" Like, I'm not kidding you. And so I have this theory, and I've actually heard this somewhere on here before, and I tried to search it, but because of censorship and everything, I can't find it. But I think that men who are overtly and cannot have a monogamous relationship and cannot settle down with one woman, I think they're GAY. I don't have anything against GAY people, but I think that they are denying their true sexuality and trying to beat it. You can't beat it, buddy. I think you're GAY. Sorry.
So if I think really hard about this, you're saying because he's sleeping with all of these women and it's not satisfying him, and look at me, look at how good I look. I'm not a 10, but I'm something. If you can't settle down and be faithful and monogamous with me, then you've got to be DL. Like, who leaves this after all of the stuff that I'm giving you? Who would want any more? I think there was a comedian that I was listening to recently that was talking about when his wife hit a certain age, he could not get her off of him. Like, she always wanted to do something. He couldn't keep up. He had to figure out how to make a schedule in order to keep her pleased. It was just a lot of work. So you're saying if a woman can get to that certain age and be that way, it's okay. But if a man is that way, then he must be compensating for something. There must be something wrong with him. He must be on the down low. I don't understand how you women think. Maybe I'm not condoning what he did. I'm just saying maybe you guys don't truly understand a man's biology.
Things that guys do that are just for girls. Walking on the treadmill. Get off my treadmill! I want to do the 3, 13, 30. Shut up. Go climb a mountain.
At this point, I'm kind of hoping that they get some women's gyms open again.
I just remembered the time someone broke into my apartment and like the cops came, blah, blah, blah. And I hear the cops say to each other, it was like 4 different cops, and they were like, the intruder ransacked her room. And I was like, wait, no. I was like, the intruder never went in my room. And so they like take me into my room, like all 4 of them. They're like, so what is this? And I was like, it's my laundry. Like, what do you mean? And then he starts pointing at every little thing in my room and it's like, so this was you? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, so this was you? And I'm like, yeah. Like, still like really freaked out from the intruder. And this man is just like literally pointing out my laundry. Whatever. I was really embarrassed, but they left, and my friends like came in their car to check on me, and the cops happened to be leaving. And my friends said they heard them like kind of talking shit about me and laughing amongst themselves. One, they didn't believe that anyone broke in. And 2, they were laughing probably what I'm assuming was my room.
So you're telling me that you have time to do this? You're telling me. You're telling me you have time to do this, but you don't have time to clean your room. You don't have time to pick up that filth off your floor. And y'all be talking about how men. Y'all be talking about how dirty men are. Where did you get these clothes from? Is that what you're wearing even washed? Is that the 4th time you've worn that in 2 days? Ma'am, get your life together.
Yo guys, I just remember the time a girl was in front of me and my boyfriend in line for the bathroom at a bar. She turns around and she was like, dude, how did you get the most beautiful girl in this entire bar? And I was like, oh my god, you're so sweet, thank you, hype me up. So I was like, wow, that girl is so nice. Until later that night, she comes up to my boyfriend and tries to hand him something. Me and our friends are standing like literally 3 feet away. I'm just turned around, but we're all looking all of a sudden because this girl's not even trying to hide it. I of course swoop in and grab it, and it's a napkin with her name and number on it. I read the napkin and I'm like, okay, Lila, because that was the name on it. And she goes, it's actually Layla. Okay, that's not really... No, you're right. I'm so sorry to disrespect you. That's so rude of me. But you guys would actually be really proud of me because I did stand up for myself for once. And she has the audacity to say, remember, this is the girl who told me I was the most beautiful girl in the entire bar. Wait, you guys think that she didn't actually mean it? Wow, my hair is so frizzy. Just ignore that. She has the audacity to say, I didn't know you guys were together. What do you mean? So I don't know if you guys saw my last story time about girls trying to steal my boyfriend from me at bars, but this was the same bar. So we're never going back there. I know you guys are all gonna yell at me for saying this, but you can't help me get revenge on all these girls by going to the link in my bio and pre-saving my song Hands Off, because it's about all these girls who try to steal my boyfriend from me, because it literally happens so much more often than one would ever believe to be true. So yeah. One last serious question. Do you guys think that she was lying when she said that I was the most beautiful girl in the entire bar? It's like the worst part of all. Just kidding.
I mean, she probably thought you were cute, but she thought your man was cuter. And so, let me see what I can do with him. Let me take a ride.
The Lord is quite hilarious, because I'll see a guy on this app that's in my city and I'll think he's so attractive and I'll follow him, and then a post will come up with his that says, haven't cracked anything in a while. So
well, because y'all be dating the same men, it's probably the case that there's a few other women that like him too. So he's cracking.
The Lord is quite hilarious, because I'll see a guy on this app that's in my city and I'll think he's so attractive and I'll follow him, and then a post will come up with his that says, haven't cracked anything in a while. So
The other day I posted a video about my husband letting me do something, and predictably got a lot of women in the comments saying, your husband lets you do something? Yes, he let me do something because my husband is in charge. He is in charge of the household, and that's how I like it. Because you know who's in charge if he is not? Me. Do you know what that means? That means that I have to know what's wrong with the car when it makes a funny noise. No, thank you. That means I am the one expected to go back to work after the baby's born. Don't want to do that. I am the one that has to plow the driveway and scrape off the cars in the winter when it snows. I hate winter. I hate cold. I don't want to do that. Why? Can I do all those things? Yes. Do I want to? No. I think that should be a man's job. That's why I married a man. A good man. Maybe if I married a piece of crap, I would feel differently. Probably would. But I didn't. I married a really good man who I might even say 10 out of 10 times, gives me more than what I ask for. When I need to go pick up the animals, he will be the one to drive the trailer into town and back it up and get it. I don't want to do that. Drive a trailer in town? No thanks. So you might not want your husband to do these things for you. I love when he does them for me. So he will continue to stay in charge. That's the way I like it. And that's the way it should be.
This sad as hell. Like, what's wrong with these men that be getting divorced from their wives? Like, especially when they're rich. It's like, you are such a bum. Like, you already got $1 million. And you're getting $7,000 monthly. And you want this woman's retirement. Like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, what did she do to you so bad that's for you to say, I'm already getting $1 million and I'm getting $7,000 a month. Let me go after her retirement next. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that is some low down evil ass. Like, you trying to take all of this woman's income and leave her stranded with nothing. Like, this is some fat shit. Like, I don't care how you spin it. This is some flip ass. Your ass need to get up and get a job instead of trying to get more money and more money and more money out of this woman. You're trying to come after her retirement. Like, this woman has been working since she was a child. And I'm pretty sure she's been, like, stacking money and, got some money saved up or whatever from when she was a child. And you sit up here want to go after her, all her money. Like, this is so sad. And this is sick as hell. Like, this reminds me of that, Mary J. Blige and Kendu situation. Like, that nigga was so low down. Like, come after Mary's money like that. And Wendy Williams and her husband, he was low down as well. It's like, what's wrong with these men when they be getting divorced from their wives? All these rich celebrities and these men be getting divorced and they like that. I want all the money she has. Like, what kind of shit is that? That is some fast.
Good work, big fella. See if we can get that number to 10K by January.
This is why you listen to the people who tell you to date the man who maybe is a little dorky and likes you a little bit more than you like him. My grandmother gave me this advice when I first met Davis and I was not vibing with it. Davis was like too nice. He liked my family too much, wanted to hang out too often. And I was like, as if you're not cool enough. And so I broke up with him despite her advice. And 6 months later, he like kind of came back into my life, just a funny situation at homecoming. And I like instantly had a mindset shift that happened so quickly where I was like, wow, you're so dumb. Like, you're gonna date the guy who like pretty much wants nothing to do with you and probably be begging him to treat you well your entire life. Lo and behold, we're married now. I'm on the phone with the same grandmother and we're chit-chatting about houses and babies and her life and she's giving me all the advice. She goes, 1 second, I got a package at the door. And she goes, oh my goodness, it's from Davis. She opens it up. It's a whole box. I didn't even know he did this. It's a whole box of weights and like a rack for her weights and like bands and stuff for her exercises at home, because he works in strength and conditioning and he's been making her programs, which I also didn't even know. But she's like, yes, I've been doing all the exercises Davis has told me to do and I'm getting so much stronger. I can walk 3 miles now. She was not even able to walk a mile. I can pick up the coffee pot with one hand and I'm not scared I'm gonna drop it. I can get out of my seat. I can go up the stairs, like all these things. And I'm like literally crying. And so because she's gotten so much stronger, he sent her like a set of heavier weights and then like a rack to put them on in her room. I now have a healthier, stronger grandmother because I married him. Like, I just cannot believe, sorry if that was long-winded, but like I hope it lands with somebody and you make the right decision.
So I folded and I got Hinge Plus today, let me tell you, because normal Hinge, I feel like, is just giving me a bad bunch. They're hiding all the hot people behind the paywall. But today I went through the paywall and I realized my type just sucks.
Somebody in the comments said that Hinge is skills-based matching. So maybe do a deep dive on who you are.
How do people go on the internet and say things like,
I like guys who are ugly hot. I like someone who's just a little bit ugly and then go home to their significant other. If I heard that my boyfriend was saying on the internet, yeah, I like girls that are just a little bit ugly, we're breaking up. We're breaking up. Matter of fact, I just saw a guy who made a video and he said, I like girls that are odd looking. They just look a little freaky. There's something a little ugly, freaky, odd about them. If I was single and I saw a guy post that, you're off the list, buddy. Matter of fact, even if they just liked me, I'd be offended. I'm offended now. But genuinely, how do you post something like that and then just even broach someone that you're interested in or someone that you're involved with seeing that? How are they gonna feel? If you think that, keep it to yourself, okay? Keep it to yourself.
Okay, maybe this is an unpopular opinion, too spicy of a take, if you will, but I feel like anytime I go on social media or look at the news, it's like tragedy after tragedy after tragedy, like the world's falling apart, our country's in ruin, we're descending into fascism, like the end is nigh. And the first thing I think of whenever I see any of these new terrible headlines is, wow, this is horrible, and I can't believe I still don't have a boyfriend. Like, I can't believe I'm still single, and it seems like everyone's telling me the world is ending. And it's not because I don't care that the world is ending, okay? It's just that I'm like picturing my last night on this earth. Like if anything, like if shit hit the fan tomorrow, what my last night on this earth would look like. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have someone to spend like my last night with. You know where I'd go? To my mom's house, upstate. To my mom's house, where she collects antiques, so the house is kind of just like a little hoarder's paradise. I'm not spending the last night on earth like saying my last goodbye to the love of my life, like a nice evening of passionate lovemaking goodbyes, okay? I'm like upstate with my mom living out the apocalyptic version of Grey Gardens. Like that's depressing. That's so depressing. Where is my man? Where is my man to help me get through the end of times, okay? And I know they say women don't settle. Women should never settle. It's feeling like maybe I should start thinking about settling, at least, you know? Like, should I text that guy who I matched with who was weirdly obsessed with half and half? Like, should I give him another shot? Okay? Like, I just don't want to be alone. I just don't want to be alone when it all comes crashing down around me.